I'm Amitori. I do a lot of art YouTube videos that are very fun and cozy, and I'm super happy to see you here. So today we have a little bit of a fun, I say that every time, it's another product review, but I'm very excited about this. So many of you guys have heard of Arrtx, I'm sure, because many people on YouTube have reviewed their products and used their products, and I even mentioned their acrylic markers in one of my last videos, talking about how I used them to paint on the front of one of my sketchbooks. They're really fun. Their acrylic brush markers are really cool. And so, lo and behold, they emailed me and were like, hey, we have these liquid acrylic markers that we would like you to review. Would you be interested? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. So apparently they're supposed to have better coverage and better ink flow because they are liquid acrylic ink. And so it's a little bit like thinner, but also somehow still high coverage. And so I'm really excited to try them out. We've got them here. And look at how cute this packaging is. I love the little cloud motif that they've got going on. But yeah, so I'm really excited to try these out. Get yourself a nice little cup of tea, or, you know, something that you drink, be it coffee, hot chocolate, milk. I don't know. I don't know what you like. But yeah, just come on with me for a little adventure. I have no idea yet what I'm gonna draw, but we're gonna have some fun with these markers, and yeah. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to get into these. I've got my cute little polka dot scissors here. I know my nails do not match my vibe today. I went with a dark and moody vibe for a dance that I went to recently, an event, and so they are a bit vampire-esque, which I like to go back and forth between the two vibes, like really dark and moody to really cute and happy. It just so happens that I don't want to waste these press-ons, even though they were not like the most expensive things on the place. I got them for free. They were given to me by my sister. But again, like I basically just put them on, so I don't want to mess them up. But ooh, we've got one of those like matte covers. I love the matte like film that they put on these boxes. It just feels so soft and nice. But yeah, so if you were wondering why that was so different, but let's see. These are the markers. Let's see. Oh, well, I should probably look at the box first. We've got 36 colors, and you're supposed to shake them and like before each use, which makes a lot of sense because the ink might like separate or something and you want to keep that from happening. And it's better coverage, fewer pen marks. I don't really know what that means, but I guess that means like streaks or something. Waterproof and brush tip. So these can paint on like anything, apparently. They can paint on like glass, shoes, rocks, and so I'm really excited because I should honestly have prepared something for this video, but I like to paint on like, ooh, they're so little. They're so short. I like to paint on like plant pots and stuff, and so that'll be super fun. Thank you. Aww. Yay. So Arrtx has been making art supplies for since 2015. And so they are very much like improving their craft and getting better and always listening to the audience. And so I'm really excited to see what kind of improvements were made because I love my old ones of Arrtx, and I don't know if they're honestly just a different product, these and the regular acrylic markers, but I'm really excited to try these out as kind of like a possible update or upgrade. And so we'll see. Also, I just really like the amount of colors that these come with, and how little they are, because these can fit in any like pencil case. These are really cute. I really like the little window. This is one of the biggest things that attracted me to these when they first reached out to me, was these little cloud windows. They're really cute, and I really just think that they're very fun. Shake then enjoy. Aww. That's what that says. Yay! So, oh, I'm giving you Sketchbook tour spoilers. Golly, I'm almost done with the sketchbook. I'm so excited. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So, I'm gonna do my swatches on this page and maybe do some sketches on this page. Oh, I can't forget about my tea. So let's just start from the top, I guess. And I also want to make sure that I write down which colors these are, so give me a second. How are you guys? How is life? Oh, wait a minute. Does this Bro, what if they start, they could start selling refills if they, or I don't know if they could. I don't know anything about this stuff, but the fact that you can unscrew this is very nice. Oh, the nib is very firm. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Obviously you can't see the white because it's white, but they unfortunately don't have like actual color names. It's just the code, which, I mean, I'll take the code over nothing, but color names are always fun. I like having that color. Okay, I'm gonna do voiceover. Bye-bye. Leave me alone. I'm trying to work. Bruh. I literally just read the instructions. I'm supposed to shake these before I use them. I've forgotten that, so just keep in mind, these I have not shaken. Golly. I'm gonna do that from now on. Sorry. Hey guys, it's voiceover Ami here. I haven't done a voiceover in a really long time, so please cut me some slack on that. I might repeat myself, I might stutter a lot, but we'll see. But yeah, so these markers were really fun. They really did just feel a lot like classic Arrtx markers right out of the box, and you'll hear me say that a lot in this video about how they really aren't that different from the previous set, although the casing and the ink consistency was better than the last set, as well as the brush nib. I didn't have it with me, so I can't necessarily compare and contrast right now, but based off of sheer memory, I do think that I liked this brush nib more. It felt more firm, it felt sharper, it felt like it had better like structure, I guess. But yeah, the only other issue I think I ran into when I was doing these swatches especially was that twist off cap kept like twisting off while I was trying to open the caps, and so I would consistently have to twist it back on, and so they were a little loose, but it didn't end up really giving me many problems in the long run. Just a few times it was a little annoying. But yeah, we're about to finish these swatches and I'll go to the old video Ami. Okay, so I probably said what I thought in the voiceover, but I really do like these. I do find that there is so far an improvement from the old Arrtx acrylic markers, or the like other ones that aren't the liquid acrylic markers, or whatever these are. They are definitely smoother. They feel more opaque, but of course we have yet to test the yellow, for example, because the yellow I always have issues with my old set of these markers, and so we will see how opaque that yellow really is, especially also with the white, like how opaque the white is. But so far, just on like white paper, these colors all look great. There is like slight inconsistencies with how each of them work. So there are certain ones of these that are way more opaque than others, which I mean you can kind of like expect because the other markers are the same way. For example, and it could also be because I haven't like really been using these for a while and I've only shaken them once, and so maybe once the like shaken ink goes through and it starts to even out, it'll all be like the same. But this red right here feels a little bit more inky, and so it felt like it soaked into the paper a little bit more than for example this blue here, which definitely is extremely opaque. I can feel like it sitting on top of the paper. This black is usually more of an ink, but it's very, very dark and very like opaque, I guess you could say, but usually the blacks in these sets feel more inky than the rest of the colors. And so, but that's like fine because black covers pretty much everything, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm really going to be focused on these lighter colors and how they overlay on top of these darker colors. So we're about to test that right now and see how that goes. I'm gonna overlay the white over let's overlay it on top of this blue right here. I feel like that would be a good test. Like overall, these markers feel great. Like this is only one coat and it's already so like perfect looking. I love that about these. So I'm gonna let that dry for a second. I don't think that they do take a second to dry, but I didn't notice that when I was doing the swatches. Also, apologies for how messy these swatches are. I kind of started to like go a little bit too big, and then once the perfection ended, I was just no holds barred and just decided to just throw them on the page. So it's not the best swatch page I've ever made, but it's a swatch page nonetheless, and I need one, so. Oh, so that's one layer. It's pretty decent coverage. Yeah, if you keep layering on top of it, it gets really streaky, so I'm just gonna leave that the way it is and then wait until it dries. So then this like really light yellow, I'm gonna do the same thing and see. So yeah, it definitely feels like it has more even coverage than the old Arrtx acrylic markers. And I will say they feel a lot smoother. Okay, so 2 coats looks really, really good as long as that doesn't try to be the same transparency. But these definitely feel not like a million times better, but they definitely still feel better than the other ones. I'm gonna draw some little ideas. What style do I want this to be in? I want to make a VTuber model that is a little bit more pop art kind of like style, a little bit brighter colors, more like exaggerated expressions. I'm like completely forgetting what my current VTuber model looks like. The hair is always something that like bothers me. Hey, I'm back after eating a few more chocolate bars than I probably should. I got into that little sugar crave after working for a while. I don't know, maybe it's like a serotonin thing. Who knows? Somebody correct me on my science. But yeah, so here I'm just working on my little VTuber concept stuff. I'm using one of those pencils that I reviewed in a previous video. I really, really like this pink. It's really fun to sketch with. And I'm thinking I want to go for more, like I said, more of a pop art kind of aesthetic. I want to be able to make a model that is more expressive and one that I can play with, like artistically a little bit more. And so I want to have a really, really, really big cheesy grin and bright eyes and kind of thicker more shapely eyebrows, because I've always liked that in my art, and my current Vtuber model just doesn't really capture that. And so I definitely want to make one that's a little bit more stylistically me, I guess you could say. But yeah, so on the bottom right, I was just playing with more of my semi-realistic style and seeing like, oh well, what if I wanted to do something like that? I ended up kind of turning back on that idea pretty quick, just because of the fact that with the way that a VTuber model would move, I'm not sure if I would really want to deal with the issues that would include, which I feel like it would probably be fine. It would just take a lot longer than I have, really. Because this next summer is going to be packed with work since I'm starting my capstone. I'm very excited about it. If you don't know what that is, essentially it's my final project for animation school, and I'm going to be doing a roughly 3-minute horror short. I know that that's not quite on brand for me, but I, like many of you probably don't know, or know maybe if you've been following me on Instagram for a while, I really, really, really like horror content. I've grown up watching people on YouTube play horror games, and one of my favorite games of all time is the Resident Evil franchise. And I love watching horror movies and listening to stories. I love the Magnus Archives right now on Spotify. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but it's really, really, really good. It's basically just a conglomeration of a lot of really creepy short stories that all kind of go together to make up a bigger story that the whole podcast is kind of telling through recordings that the main guy takes, kind of recounting people's personal experiences with the paranormal. So it's really, really, really good. I recommend it. It's completely fictional. It's very much like listening to an audiobook. And so, yeah, but anyway, I'm getting so off the point. Yeah, so I like horror, and I've been a little bit worried about posting anything that I'm doing with my capstone, just because of the fact that I know it doesn't go in line with the rest of my content, and I worry that some people who may not like horror, that like my content because it's really cute and bubbly and bright, they might be really perturbed and just not really want to watch my content anymore for fear of being exposed to something that would disturb them or bother them, and I really don't want that to happen. I am a big supporter of creators being able to post like whatever they want to post and not feel bad about it or feel like they're gonna lose their following, so I shouldn't be a hypocrite. I should really just post the stuff. I am just not quite ready yet, I suppose, but I might start out with doing a few YouTube streams and just test the waters, and because I've been able to do it all on my computer because I decided, now this is subject to change, I decided that I want to use Live 2D Cubism, the same program that I used to make my VTuber model, to make my film. And so this has been met with some concern from my professors, but I genuinely think that if I can get it to work, I think it would be really, really, really nice, because the way that it works is really nice. And I also found out, and this may or may not play a massive role, that I can get a 3-year student discount for $60. And I was like, heck yeah, because I'm gonna be using it anyway to make this VTuber model, so I may as well just give it a try. And so far, it's really good. Like, I made a little model for test of my main character, and I feel like it's gonna be great. So it's me and my sister that are working on the capstone, and she is writing it because she's a writer, and I will share her little Instagram here if you want to keep up with her. She doesn't post a whole lot, but she's trying to post a little bit more. But her stuff is great. She wants to publish her books that she's writing. She's a new adult author. Please forgive me if that's wrong. I will fact check myself and come back later. I stand corrected. Megan, can you please explain?
I am not an author because technically that is the incorrect term to use since I have not published any of my work. I am a writer, but I appreciate your faith in me and your confidence for me to become an author. So yes, everyone should just go back to watching you draw.
Well, no. What kind of writer are you?
I am a fantasy writer. Writer, not author.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
Yes. Go back to watching her draw.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. But she is writing a lot of really, really, really cool stuff. But yes, so she wrote my screenplay, and I will be taking that and using that for the capstone. She'll be in the credits, and it'll be a little bit of a little sister powwow of a production. I'm excited, if you can't tell. But yeah, so it's gonna be pretty creepy. I'm excited to share some stuff. I'm also, of course, like I said, nervous, but I think it's gonna be good. And I might stream, like I was saying earlier, I'm gonna plan to stream some of the animation process for that because it's on my computer. It'll be super easy. But yeah, so back onto the actual art supply here. I realized through doing this that I was missing a lot of the colors that I would really like to have. So I realized that this selection of colors primarily consists of like mid to light values, and that's fine. I really, really, really would have preferred if they had included more dark values, just so that I can have more options for like dark shadows, ambient occlusion, stuff like that, because I was really missing a lot of those. A lot of them are just very bright, poppy, a lot of which are the same value, so it felt very washed out like when I finished. Of course, I really love these drawings. It doesn't feel washed out, but it was kind of limiting as far as like what colors I could use and how much depth I can include in the piece. And so I know that only 36 colors are in this set, but there were a few that I felt like were similar enough that I could take one or the other color and it didn't matter, like that T424 and that T435. Those blues are very similar, and I really didn't feel like I needed both of those if I could have had like a darker brown, for example, because I was really, really missing out on the darker, like neutral colors. And so if I had something to critique off of just the choice of colors, it would be that I would really like to see some of the darker colors, like a really dark maroon red, or a dark brown, or I don't know, a darker green. That would be nice. But yeah, I will say I like that they included some more yellowish greens in this set than they did last, because that's the biggest issue that I've had with the last Arrtx set, aside from the lack of darker browns and stuff, was the lack of a more yellowish tinted green. Because when I would try to draw like grass and paint like landscapes and stuff like that, I would be stuck with these super, super sterile bluish greens, and it just would look so plasticky and it wouldn't look very natural. And so having at least one of that extra green was really nice, even though I would like to have more of those. But yeah, enough with the gripes. You'll hear me talk about how I really liked these markers a lot later in the video, and I really did, and I really do. And I think that the biggest improvement was honestly the packaging from the last, because the last markers, they were nice, but they had less character than these markers do. These markers have a lot of character. I feel cute using them. And listen, if I feel cute using something, it means that I really, really like them, okay? I would really like to have color names just because it adds a little bit more fun to the process, but definitely not necessary. And yeah, so I will say there's still a little bit of like streakiness with these sometimes, depending on the way that I use them. And so that could just be a me issue, but it wasn't entirely streakless, which is a bummer. But I will say the more layers I added, the less streaks were noticeable. And so it's probably more of a per quo regular thing to layer these markers, and I probably should have done that. But honestly, surprisingly enough, I was able to get away without layering them pretty well. And so I would call that a win for sure. But yeah, anyway, I've gotta log out. And I hope you guys appreciated the voiceover and didn't hate it, but just let me know in the comments and I will hand it over to regular Ami. This is still taking a while. Okay, bye. Hello! Okay, so, final thoughts. I really like these. Of course, they are Arrtx acrylic markers. I, to be honest, don't feel that much of a difference between this one and the last one. I do feel like these are a little bit smoother and higher quality, which I really appreciate. So honestly, I'm probably just going to be using these from now on. And if, of course, these had been out by the time I was trying to decide, like, what to get, like, if I had a choice between these, I would definitely pick, these over the other set, which I will put on screen, that I got first, because I do really like these a lot better. The pink, even though it looks bright, like, comparatively to everything else, it is quite a muted pink. I would prefer to have, like, a brighter pink, but it's still pretty, of course, and I love it. I love pink. They did definitely warp the paper quite a bit, but of course, though, you can't see anything through, which is really nice. There's no like bleeding or anything. So as far as the art goes, I definitely think I prefer the more graphic style for like a VTuber model. I really want to go with something that I can really play with the shapes and with the expressions, and I'm not like too limited, which I feel like a more realistic style would definitely cause me to be a little bit more limited. And I also know that like with VTuber specifically, the more realistic the style, the more odd it can start to look as far as like feeling kind of uncanny. And so like you can do it well and it looks great, but it is kind of a little bit more of an effort to make it look like perfect. And so I do definitely think with what I want to do, I think that a more graphic style like this would be better. But anyways, I think that's time to end this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed your time here and got something out of it. I hope that you have the best art adventures ever in the upcoming days and weeks and months. And I hope that I see you again next time. But yeah, anyway, you guys have a great time, and I will hopefully be able to film again soon. Bye bye!